Since 2011, Neff rental earth-moving customers have been using equipment with the most advanced, very low-emission diesel engines. We wanted to take a few minutes to share with you some of the important benefits and features of these Tier 4i engines and explain how they will affect your operations today and in the future.
The low-emission Tier 4i engines are currently the cleanest and most technically advanced diesel engines ever made. They've been evolving since 1996, when the federal government told the industry to clean up the black soot and nitrogen oxide emissions that are exhausted from off-road diesel engines. The companies that manufacture heavy diesel engines have been working hard to do just that, and by 2014 the final tier of engine development will be in place, and emissions will be 60% less than in the current Tier 4i engines. Let's put this into perspective. The emissions from 25 Tier 4 final machines will be the equivalent to the emissions of one Tier 1 machine that was operating in 1996. I think you'll agree that some remarkable advances have been made in diesel engines. What does this mean for you? If you have a green job site that you're bidding on, Neff rental equipment with Tier 4i engines will help you qualify for those projects. Some of the other benefits include quieter operation than older equipment, and through new advances in the engine, an added 8 to 10% fuel savings. This really adds up over time.
Before we talk about what operators should know about the emission systems of the Tier 4i engines, you also need to be aware of some of the important Tier 4 engine features. The larger coolers because of the increase in engine temperatures, the EGR or exhaust gas recirculation, the DPF or departiculation filter, the larger air filter housings to increase airflow, and the reduced space inside the overall engine canopy due to the requirements of the exhaust aftertreatment system.
To reduce the exhaust emissions, a diesel exhaust fluid called DEF or urea is injected into the exhaust system to break down nitrogen oxide into nitrogen gas and water vapor.
Here's the important part for operators. Neff equipment with Tier 4i engines will be delivered with a full tank of DEF. You and your operators will be responsible for maintaining the proper DEF and fuel levels throughout the rental. An indicator light on the dashboard will show you when the DEF needs replenishing. DEF is available at most parts stores or through your fuel supplier.
An important point to remember, all Tier 4i equipment must use ultra-low sulfur fuel. This is necessary to keep the emissions low and allows the new Tier 4i engines to operate properly. Only use ultra-low sulfur fuel in Tier 4i engines. Other diesel fuels will severely damage the engines and the exhaust treatment systems. You should also be concerned about clean fuel. Fuel with excessive amounts of water will damage the fuel systems. If you are unsure about a fuel treatment program, contact your Neff rental sales representative for more information. Today's Tier 4i engines also inject diesel fuel under very high pressures into the engine to help it burn more efficiently. What's the difference? In older equipment, fuel lines were pressurized at 3 to 600 psi. The Tier 4i engine fuel lines are pressurized at up to 40,000 psi.
So please be careful. If a fuel line is accidentally punctured, fuel under that pressure can damage engine components and also pierce the skin very easily.
There are two types of Tier 4i engines in the Neff rental fleet: cooled exhaust gas recirculation and selective catalyst reduction. With cooled exhaust gas recirculation, exhaust gas is fed into the intake through an exhaust gate and reburned again in the engine. With selective catalytic reduction, engines operate at higher combustion temperatures, allowing for a more complete burn of the diesel fuel. DEF is also injected into the exhaust system to elevate the temperature to reduce soot. Operators will continue to control the speed and hydraulics of the new machines, but the equipment's onboard computers control the exhaust, engine RPM, hydraulic output, and monitor the overall machine health. The regeneration process can sometimes affect the equipment's operations. Passive regeneration happens during normal operation. You will know when the equipment is passively regenerating by an indicator light on the monitor control panel. The machine operation will remain unchanged. Active regeneration occurs when the amount of soot in the diesel particulate filter is more than can be automatically regenerated. The computer alerts the operator to allow the filter system to burn off the soot. This usually happens due to excessive idling or not running the machine under a heavy enough load. When the alert occurs, the operator should park the unit in a safe location. During the regeneration process, exhaust gas temperatures reach more than 1100 degrees Fahrenheit in order to remove soot from the exhaust filter, and could last up to 45 minutes. If the operator ignores the computer's alert, the computer will automatically cut the equipment speed by half. This allows the operator to safely park the equipment until the regeneration cycle can be completed. Should this occur, you should contact your local Neff rental service department for further instructions.
If your application should require you to idle the machine for long periods of time, please contact your Neff rental sales representative to discuss options for this type of rental. Certain machines can be reprogrammed to permit this type of use depending on your job requirements.
Tier 4i engines run 10 to 15% hotter than older engines. You should be aware of this when you are operating the equipment in places where there are combustible materials such as paper or cardboard. Replenish the DEF when it gets low. Monitor the computer lights for regeneration warning. When the equipment starts to operate slower, the equipment needs to be parked so that the regeneration can occur. Only use ultra-low sulfur fuel. Clean and treat your fuel going into the machine. Try not to idle your machine.
And enjoy operating the lower polluting equipment, quieter engine, and up to 10% longer operating time due to fuel savings. If you have any questions, contact your local Neff rental branch. We do care more.